well. So in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to do this cool code app that renders callbacks from an API, and the callbacks are the codes, and I hope you're going to be enjoying it. And also I've been showing how to use an infinite straw view from Ionic. Right guys, now let's get started, and you just need to start your Ionic Angular app and run it. So I've already done that, the blank app, as you could see, and you will be good to go. And then secondly, just go and find an API. For myself, I've used the random, I've used Quotable by Look. It's on GitHub. If you want to use this API as well, I have shared the link on the description box, so you can just go ahead and use it. Let's just go through what the API provides. So it has under the README file, you will see that it's an open source, so and it's free. You do not need to sign up or sign in to get an API key. You just go ahead and use it. It has over 2,000 codes by 900 authors, and the API callbacks, you get a random code which returns a single random code. You can get a list of codes, you can get the codes by an ID, you can list the authors, you can get author by ID, you can list the tags, and it also has examples here to just play around with. And so the query has parameters, and these are the parameters here. The parameters we'll be using for this example is the limit and the skip, okay? And I'm going to show you later on how to actually use them, how we're going to be using them, and yeah, you can go ahead and read about it. But if you have your own API you want to use, it is very much doable. You can do that if you prefer that way. So first of all, let's go to the environment. I like putting my URL right here under the environment. So I'm gonna call this API URL is equal to. Now I am going to need an API URL from the site, okay? So to do that, to get the API URL, it is called Quotable, and you can also test it out before implementing on how the callback will be on your browser. Okay, let me put on this one. Okay, so this is the URL. Okay, so we're gonna paste this URL here on API URL under the environment file. Okay, now we're gonna have a service. So we're gonna say Ionic generate service, and we're gonna call the service a code service. So I'm gonna use this service to just get the right. We're gonna use this to get the right set of results from our API as we wanted. So we would want to have our API URL from the environment. Okay. So we're gonna declare it right there, and then we're gonna move inside the class. Forgot one important thing. To use the APIs, we will have to have a plugin from the HTTP client, which is from Angular Common HTTP, and to use that we have to put it under the app modules right here. So we're gonna import it. So HTTP client, like that, it is from Angular Common /http like that. All right, and then we have to import a module here. So now we have to put it under our import right here, so we'll be able to use it. So HTTP client module. That's very important, because if you don't do this, you'll get errors along the way. So it is very important to get this done. And then we're going to move on into our codes HTTP, and we will import it here because we want to use it. So client, what am I typing? Okay, HTTP client. Right, cool. So it imported that for me. Now we can use this, and it saves underneath here. All right, hope you guys are still following, and so far things are just clear and straightforward. Okay, we'll have a get what I'm gonna call this method. When I say get codes, because we want just a bunch of codes, né? So we're going to return this .http .get. So we're gonna use this API URL. So the API URL is just this part of which part is it? It's just the URL. Now I need to get the path, and we want the path of the entire code for this one. So here what we're gonna do is we will add codes right here, and this will should retain us the list of all the codes that the API has. So if you call this in any of our components right here, it will retain a list of codes underneath this API. Okay, now to test it out, let's go to our home page. Now, so on our home TS page, we have imported the codes from the servers, and I will then go ahead and inject here. That's it. And I'm going to have an array here called codes, where I'll put in my codes. And now I want to get the codes from our servers. Okay, so when I have I'm gonna call this a load codes method here, and now I am going to say this .codes is equal to this .code service .get codes here. Does not take any parameter. I'm going to subscribe that, and we're going to call them Q. The results, we're going to put them into Q. Actually, this is supposed to be like that. Okay, is equals to Q, and then I am going to log this code and see if it have loaded the code for us. Okay, now let's check it out if it loads the right things. Oh, okay, so it's not called in the constructor there. Okay, let's see. Great. It returns a result of 20 codes. Inside you can see we have author, we have content, we have the length. I think it's the number of letters here, and we have that text. So this is like from the wisdom, and we have an ID right here. So okay, cool. Now let's go ahead. Now that we know how the format is, Now let's just go in and use our let's just go in and do, I think we should do the HTML. Infinite scroll. Okay, so this is how you do infinite scroll. Okay, so on our infinite scroll we're gonna need this because now it just loads 20 of them. It limits us to 20, but we want to get everything, but we are going to filter it by, not filter it, we're gonna load 10 codes as the user scrolls, and that makes it easy for the app to load faster. Instead of loading the entire thing, will load as the user scrolls in our app, just like how it's done with like your Instagram, your Twitter. When you scroll down your timeline feeds, you are scrolling. As you're scrolling Instagram, it just loads, it keeps loading. It does not load everything entirely at the same time. So this is why the infinite scroll is very important. Now I'm going to show you how to keep calling an API only when the user scrolls up for more information, for more callbacks, because it does not make sense to call the entire 2000 codes into an app, because first of all of the size, and second of all of the performance and in terms of speed. Okay, so if you want your app to be faster but give more content, just load as the user goes. Okay, so this is why we are going to use infinite scroll in this tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to implement it and go about it. Okay, so you can go ahead and read it on the Ionic page. There is infinite scroll document on it. What am I typing? Infinite scroll content, and just to see what happens inside it, and how to use some of its services it brings. So yeah, all right. So as far as it goes, like this. So we're going to have an event. Okay, Ionic infinite is equal to, I'm gonna call this load more. We're gonna pass in some event. Now we're doing this because we want to, as we scroll, as we scroll into the infinite scroll container, load more should then trigger an event to call this method, and this method is the one that is going to get another set of codes. Okay, so and how I want this to be is I want to load 10 codes at per time. So I'm going to load 10 codes at the time that the time that you get onto the last code number 10, it should load more codes, 10 more codes, and as you scroll up it gets more and gets more. I don't know if I'm explaining this any simpler, but I'm going to show you how to do that right here by an example. I think that will make more sense. Okay, so load more is our method that will be triggered by the scroll. Okay, and it takes a parameter of an event. Okay, so for now, there's nothing to scroll to because we have blank cards here. There's nothing to scroll to, so let's load the cards with the content. Okay, so to load the cards with the content, we are going to say our page here, inside our card. Oh, okay. So I have made a mistake here. We want to get results. Remember, our array brings out some object. Cool. So we have 20 cards going on. Each card presents the array here. So what we do now is that let's first go on and display our content in the right manner, in a very pretty manner. So I realized that my infinite scroll had some spelling mistakes there. What it wasn't really working. So let me just quickly fix that. If you were following along and you were writing what I wrote, I suggest you also fix that. Okay, now this will work. Now we're going to pass in an event right here, and let's see if this works. So I want to scroll right until the end and see, when I get to the end, it shows a loader here, and it shows loading because on my TS file I said if this is fired up, it should console log loading. Now that we have that working, I think we can go. Now that we have that working, I think we can go ahead now and implement our logic on loading 10 codes per time. Okay, so how we're going to do that is we're going to go back here, and we have codes is equals to codes result. Okay, and then we are going to have, let's pass in an event as well here, but it would be, just have this here like this. It will be not compulsory, so we're going to have an if statement to test if, to go only if there's an event parameter passed there, otherwise it won't get in here. So we're gonna go in and head and say event dot target dot complete. Okay, just to complete this, and then here we are going to say in our codes here, let's have a parameter called limit, and we want a limit of 10, and we want to have skip to be 0. I'm gonna explain that. And here I want to send in those two parameters, limit and skip. I know this will give me an error because on our savers it does not expect any parameter, and we are going to make it expected skip. Okay, now listen to the logic now. So we have codes and we want to implement the parameters. Okay, the first parameters we want to do is the limit. So limit is the number of codes to return per request. Okay, so to put in a parameter we do this, and we're gonna call in limit is equal to, we are going to put in this limit here, the limit to a 10. Okay, and then our second part is, before we get to a second part, let's just see if it does send out 10 limits. Okay, it does send out 10 callbacks. Okay, let's see. Now if I call this here, it should return only 10 results instead of 20 like it used to do. So see that now it is 10. Now we want to say, when I get to the bottom of here, I want to load more 10 codes. Okay, to do that we're gonna use skip. Okay, for now it skips, it does not skip anything, it skips for nothing yet. So to do the skip, we are going to say, and skip is equal to skip. Okay, I hope I have this correct. Let me see. I should reload this. Okay, it's taking so long. Why is it taking so long? Okay, it works. All right. So it skips for whatever skip I am going to bring in. Okay. So if I put in 10 skip, it will skip to the next 10 the next page of the results. Okay, to test this out, let's see the last code. So the last code says, can you imagine what I would be if, I don't know. Okay, let's say now I am sending in a skip to I wanted to skip to 10. Okay, let's see the results now. The first result would be knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens, science and technology whatsoever. So you see now it has brought in another new set of 10 codes. Okay, so we're gonna start from 0, and as you scroll, we're gonna implement the skip to another 10. So this request could be called again, but with 10 new. We're gonna add whatever in the skip to a 10. Second of all, we are going to say if this skip, but this is really optional to disable the target, so that when it reaches the last set of 10 codes, the target just gets disabled. It does not show the loader anymore down there, as it will give a user an impression that there's still more codes to come. So if you know the limit, if you know how many codes or posts or whatever let's put it on 2000 codes. It said it has 2000 codes in it. Let's say if it reaches 2000, and then we are going to close this event to not trigger anymore. So target dot disable is equals to true. Okay, and right here we will call this dot load code, and we will send in our event. So when it gets here, it will change the number of skip. It will then load another set of new codes with 10 limits and the new number set of skip. Okay, now let's test out. This should be pretty much it. So let me also log our, okay, we've already logged that. So let's see, as we scroll, the last part, you see it had loaded 10 new ones. If you go up, we still have, oh, it has, okay, now that's another problem. We don't want to get rid of the codes on top. We still want our codes to remain there. We'll assign this, and then we say this dot code dot concat. So whatever was inside the code should be added upon the new results we're getting from our API, and this should just work very well. Okay, let's see. So as we scroll down, it loads now 10 more. So we had 10 and it loaded 10 more, which give us 20. And when you go back, you see we still have our first code there, and we're moving again. Now we have 30, and as we move again, we have 40. So it loads as the user pages. Okay, you can like style your your infinite scroll content. The other things you can do with it, I recommend that you just go ahead and check out the Ionic framework document. So to get more interesting stuff you can do about that. But other than that, I think my job here is done, and I hope you love it. And if you like it, please give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. And again, I am sorry, I apologize for the noise of my my background as well as my keyboard. I've just misplaced my mic, and I am looking at buying a new one if I don't find my old one. So until next time, thank you so much for the support, and do share and also give me other things you want me to do for you that are very interesting. Any APIs you want me to try, I'm very open to hear from you. And until next time, bye guys.